Hey, Maria back with another video. It's 10:39 a.m. It is March 5th, and it is, I believe it's Thursday. The week is going by pretty fast. The months are going by fast. This whole year just started, but it just seems like, yesterday that I was like ringing in the new year, which I didn't really formally ring in the new year. It just kind of rolled in, and it's just, time just goes by too fast. But anyway, I am, of course, doing the same stuff that I've been doing, looking for work. And I think it's very difficult to look for work when you've exerted a lot of energy into looking for a job for years, only to find out that you've been blocked or you have, what you call, people interfering with your employment. So you can send out thousands of resumes, which I know that I sent out a lot of resumes in the beginning. So I've even mentioned it before where I had to take it to the shredders to get it all like, it's not that, my name is on it. No social security information is on my resume or anything like that. It's just that, I felt as though I had to take it to a shredder's place because it's my name and my address. And it's just like, it's got when you have a resume, it should be seen by the employer and only the employer. And I just shredded it all. I took it to a shredder because it was huge. I had it in a closet and it was piling up. And so this was like about a year or two ago. I took it to the shredders, okay, because it was ridiculous. And then when I was cleaning out my garage, just a few months ago, I had noticed that there were some more in there. So I'm like, it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous, the amount of time and effort that I put into looking for work. And so that's where I find this whole thing, it becomes a mental block because you feel as though you could put out a lot of energy and you don't really feel as motivated. That's one thing. So that becomes a mental block. Also, the issues that stumble your way about, the long drawn out process of looking for work. I was looking at a website. I don't know if it was Glassdoor or if it was I don't know what it was, but they was basically talking about people who are looking for work and they were in similar situations where they've put a lot of energy into looking for work and they're constantly stumbling with these taking tests for assessment tests, okay? And I understand, it's like a process of elimination. They want the person who has the highest score or whatever, and you got to prove your skills or whatever. And I can understand that for people who are what you call at an entry level position. And I don't know how it works on that end. It could very well be where everyone who applies for that job gets this notification that they're supposed to take an assessment test, and you take the assessment and then they follow up. Or because I'm not sure if they actually look at the resume or is it something just an automatic response, but it does slow down the process. So like yesterday, I applied for a few jobs and and they come back and ask for a skill assessment test, and it's difficult because you're trying to send out as many resumes as you can, and then you have to follow up later and take a test, which, like I said, it does slow down the process. And when you are trying to tailor each resume to each specific job, it becomes difficult. I know that Indeed.com does have an option where you can have like one standard resume, for a particular job. And it's unfortunate that they don't offer two, because most people who look for work are like stuck in a particular field. They've been doing this for a long time, so their little resume is going to be beneficial for every job that they look for, because they're looking for one specific job, right? Or one specific field, okay? In my case, I'm like left in the dark. I don't know, it's like I kind of I'm looking for other options. I could continue doing what I'm doing. I'm kind of throwing everything up in the air. I think it would be great if Indeed.com and other websites, job websites, had the option of at least having 3 different resumes, okay? Because um, not everybody can use that resume, okay? And then also, even if you are staying within the same field, there are certain things that may be required for one job and may not necessarily be, you may not be necessarily be doing those same things at that other job. So it's very, I think that's one thing that they should improve on that, okay? But anyway, I think that there might be some people who think, well, you're not putting in a lot of effort into looking for your job. I'm going to tell you that after you've dealt with something like this, okay, it becomes very difficult to do that, okay? And like I said, you can take maybe an hour tailoring your resume for just one job, making sure what I do is I create it and then I look at it, I read it and then I do a spell check on it and then I make sure that there's a proper grammar and all this other stuff on it, and then I set it out and then I have to do a cover letter and then all this. It is a lot of work, okay, when you are a one woman show, okay? So it's not that I'm just throwing it off or anything. It is a lot of work, okay? It's a lot of work. And I think when you're dealing with people who like, for example, the people who got behind my employment in the first place, they're not able to understand my needs, okay? They tend to put a lot of unrealistic expectations on me, which this whole issue kind of shows that. And so they don't realize that what the issues that they cause are very damn. Well, I think some of these people who got involved knew exactly what they were doing. I think a lot of this was malicious, okay? But still, it leaves the person who is the victim in a very awkward situation. So I can only do what I can do, okay? And, it's hard because, I feel like I pressured for time, and I need to make money because, it's like I don't really have a whole lot. I'm just trying to scrape by and I needed some personal items a couple days ago. And so I'm like, I don't really want to go out and spend money, but I ended up having to because I was placed in a very awkward situation. It's kind of personal, but you know what I'm talking about. Sometimes you have to. And it's like, it's, there's great benefits for people it benefits people when people don't violate employment laws, okay? Because the person who's the target really ends up having to deal with more than what they should, and so it's unfortunate. So anyway, I'm hoping that in the future, job websites will offer that option instead of just having one resume. It makes sense, especially in today's world where, people are going to have to go out of their field, or they might have to, what do you call it? Or maybe limit certain things in their field. Like, when it comes to what I used to do, I pretty much did the whole thing. But maybe I won't be able to do the whole thing and maybe only be doing limited aspects of it. So, you don't want to appear overqualified and you don't want to appear, it's just better that they would offer different options. I know that you can upload new resumes, but then that takes a lot of time to tailor everything. You want to make sure that those keywords that they use in the resume, in the requisition, job requisition, matches your resume. Because I know that they've talked about, scanning. Like, for example, they'll like look for the same words to mirror their requisition. And that's one of the ways that they choose your resume. So it's time consuming. It's extremely time consuming, which is one of the reasons why I had talked about, it would be great to be able to use an employment agency, because these people put you in a situation where you're on your own. You know what I mean? And I was more than willing to be on my own, of course, when I first moved here, in the past and everything like that. But when you become a targeted individual, okay, things are different. It's like your name is out there and there's a lot of controversy surrounding you, even though it's all bullshit and there's a lot of rumors and all this other stuff. It's a lot on a person, okay? It's a lot, okay? So I'm doing the best I can. What else was I going to talk about? Pretty much, I'm just kind of getting by here, trying to keep my morale up. It is hard at times. I feel, um, I really do feel as though I've said enough about the people who got involved in this, okay? I will be following up with videos. I'm not going to mention names, but I think these videos are that I like to create are going to be educational and they're important, okay? I do have rough drafts. I have a lot of rough drafts of things that I want to put in. Right now I feel like I'm pressured. I got to get to work. So I'm trying to, do things simultaneously, work on this and work on that. But right now it's like I seem to be focusing more on looking for work, getting back to work. Which is important right now. I have bills that I need to pay, and I don't like relying on anyone. I've always tried to be as independent as I possibly can. So I don't feel, very happy about this situation. I'm quite frustrated about it. I could wake up in the morning and I'm just like, oh my God, I can't believe, I cannot believe that something like this would actually happen. But anyway, it's a beautiful day outside today. I don't really have any time to go out and play in the sun or hang out or anything like that. I've got things I got to take care of today, but um, you know, I try to find moments of relaxation, and on Mondays I try to, get up and look for work. This last Monday, I had a day full of service people. Like, I had to call the cable company. Well, it was a cable company, but they handled my internet. Then I had an issue with the electric company, and then there was another Oh yeah, these people came and they changed out the water heater. Okay, so it was a day of chaos. You know what I mean? It was a day of major chaos. So that set me back, and then I started looking for work, and I don't know what I did on Tuesday, but I looked for work yesterday, and it was exhausting, extremely exhausting. And I'm just wanting to find something as soon as I possibly can, because I'm tired of being at home. Mainly, it is because I'm tired of being at home. It's like, I'm the kind of person, I like to keep my mind busy. I like to continuously do something, and then being at home, it's just like, you know, it's draining. It's extremely draining. Um, I think maybe some people who've been following my story, it should be clicking in the back of their mind that this was a total injustice and that I didn't deserve the garbage that I had to deal with. And it's not my fault. I didn't do anything wrong. It's just sometimes you somehow have people in your life that do things to you, um, and you become a victim of something that you can't control. And it's unfortunate, but I've tried to what do you call it? I've tried to, have a positive attitude about this issue. Meaning, the reason why I spoke out about it is not because I was being rebellious. It's not because, I was trying to stick it to the man or anything like that. It wasn't like that, okay? But there's a huge amount of frustration that goes on with a person who is dealing with this. And then also, you have to stand up for yourself in situations like this because, although they're not fully aware of what the dangers are of playing these sort of games, I was fully aware of these sort of things, and I knew that it wasn't a good thing, and I will say that in the midst of the frenzy, like, when I first started making videos, I was talking about this and it seemed like my targeting was actually increasing. And I did watch a video by Renata. She really makes good videos. Um, she was basically talking, how when your targeting increases, and it reminded me of that. It increases generally because they feel as though they want to win a competition, which you have no interest in playing. I don't want to play a competition. I never asked to. I'm just trying to get on with my life, and my life obviously doesn't merge with these people who got involved in it. And sometimes you have to you know, state that. And, and when you do state that in the beginning, they insist on it. Sometimes you're dealing with people who don't understand that you don't want to interact with them. They keep thinking, well, they come up with all of these little subjective reasons and stuff like that. But I think that's part of the mental block that a lot of perpetrators deal with. Some people, I also have something about that too, stalking and whatnot, information on that. So anyway, my life has basically become pretty humdrum. Like, the only thing I really think about is this issue. That's it. I mean, I can't think of anything else. Some people would say, well, you should go out and do different things. Go out and meet people. Don't worry about it. But, I'm well aware of the issues that I have to deal with, and so it's hard for me to, number one, trust people, because like I already told you, my trust level will never be the same. I will never trust another person again, ever. And number two, I'm the kind of person, I like to feel like I have my ducks in order, my ducks in row or whatever, before I even think about going out and having a good time. And my version of having a good time is completely different than the majority's. Okay, I'm not I'm not extremely social, meaning I can talk to other people, but I'm not the kind of person that just wants to go out and hang out in bars and do this sort of stuff. I'm more of a person who wants to have just like one friend or something to do things with. I'm not somebody who just wants to go out and like, hobnob or whatever. I'm more of I'm not an introvert. I mean, I come off that way, and I'm not really an extrovert. I'm balanced. I think I'm balanced, you know what I mean? I'm a balanced person, but I do have preferences, meaning, I prefer to be around honest people, people who don't have split minds, the people who like want to extract information from you and then go and involve themselves with the people who have been opposed to you all along, so they don't have any scruples, and I got to be careful about those sort of people. So, in that sense, I would say that I'm not lonely. You know what I mean? I'm alone, but I'm not lonely. Because when I think about the alternative of what is out there, it's better to be protected and keep your guards up. But, I'm not saying everyone's like that. It's just that I certainly don't have the time or the means to go out and meet people right now when I have to deal with this huge weight that's been like on my shoulders for quite a while. So anyway, just wanted to give you guys updates. I know there's a lot of targeted individuals out there, and this is one of the videos why I'm making this video. And try not to be discouraged. I know there's some targets, I believe, I can't think of her name right now, but she was in a similar situation, and, she pulled herself out of it. Of course, she's, she's hanging in there. I think you just have to hope that there's someone out there who is responsible, somebody who is not into playing games, who respects the work that you're willing to put in, and that's all you can do. That's all you can do. And it's hard because, there's a lot of, what do you call it, charlatans out there. There's a lot of people out there that just really are unscrupulous. And when I think about the moral standards, I mean, it's hard to think positively, okay, because you've seen the example of unscrupulous people. The very fact that, it's taken you so long and you struggled so long is because of that. Okay, there's a lot of people out there who don't have a sense of right and wrong. Their sense of morality is very limited. If they even have any at all, they don't have morals or even know even if it's right or wrong. Like they don't. Some people just don't know. They just think, well, your family, your ex-family, or your in-laws, your ex-in-laws, or whoever those people are, they're involved in it, so it's the right thing to do. It's not, okay? Always remember the domestic stalking issue. Always remember that. And be careful. Be very, very careful, okay? But do get your story out there. Don't waste your time. Get out there, start talking, confront the issue, talk to as many people as you can. You don't even have to verbally talk to them. You can make flyers and hand them out to your sales clerk. You can put them on your neighbor's door. There are cars. There's people who take that approach, or you can get on YouTube. Okay, YouTube is a great source of getting your message out. Why? Because, like I said, you're not going to ever, no one's ever going to ask you point blank, are you guilty of whatever this is? They just want to pretend or think that you're guilty for reasons that make them feel justified in their bullying. Okay. But you have to stand up for yourself. And once you do, and people see that you have nothing, then that falls on them. It's their fault. Okay. And that's just how it is. Okay. It's not like, I'm not saying this to be arrogant, because I'm not an arrogant person. I know that people think that of me. I'm not an arrogant person, but I do fully understand that there are some people that you cannot pay attention to. You cannot intermingle. You cannot involve yourself with certain people. Why? Because their aim is to only bring you down, to put you down, to dominate you, to mistreat you, to abuse you. So it's not arrogant to want to avoid those sort of people. Okay, it's for your own protection, So anyway, I'm going to wrap up this video. I hope all you targeted individuals have a wonderful day, and I'll be back with another video later. Take care.